Margaret Mead once said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people could change the world." Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Now, in the spirit of Margaret Mead, we're actually gathered here today to celebrate this very concept at TEDx. And so today, I'm going to run an idea by us, a one thing, just one, that this group of thoughtful, committed people can consider changing the world with. And so, what is this one thing? What's got the ability of one thing to change the world? Well, let's go to some examples. Think Bell, Marconi, Edison, the Kitty Hawk, the automobile, the internet. Think about what our lives would be without any one of these. Never mind, all of them. I don't think we could. And so as a result, what is this one thing that has the ability to bring the planet back from war through human collaboration? What is this one thing that has the ability to bring the planet back from ecological brink into balance? What is this one thing that could control corporations to bring them back from polluting the planet with impunity? What could this one thing be? What could do all this and more? Integrity. Well, a lot of people would say personal integrity, doing all this and saving the planet too, I got a tough time with that. And I would say, on the surface, I would agree, but let me expand, let me explain. The golden thread that, excuse me, that goes through personal integrity into the planet and beyond. So integrity actually means different things to different people. I'm sure we could all agree on that. And so let's take a look at two definitions of integrity according to Google. The first definition: the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. The second is of particular importance to this talk. It's the state of being whole and undivided. The state of whole and undivided. Let me expand, because that means oneness. Oneness. Let me expand on some other interpretations of integrity. Integrity means transparency, fairness, balance. Integrity is actually about the golden rule. Integrity has no ulterior motive. It's pure. And I believe that without integrity, you have insanity. Now, the purest definition of integrity, as I drilled down on this, I found that the purest definition has to do with each of us being connected to spirit. And if we're connected to our spirit, we're connected to ourself. And if we're not connected to our spirit, we're not connected to ourself, and we don't see ourselves as being one with nature. So connected to spirit, connected to nature, spirit, nature, synonymous. Now what's interesting is that most people I know think they're made of integrity in varying degrees. But the purest form of integrity is connection here. Now, if you're disconnected here, what would replace it? Well, for many, it's disconnected by priority being focused on the illusion, life dynamics, life dramas, image, ego, net asset value, money, and the making of more money. And that's exactly where I was as a much younger man when my life got decimated for being out of integrity because I only knew money. As far as I was concerned, success was money. End of story. And I was about success through excess. You name it, I went to excess. And in the end, the only thing that I had more than money, was chaos. And what I found was, if chaos was left unchecked, it became insanity. So I want you to remember this part. Out of integrity, chaos, insanity. I also want you to remember that pure definition of integrity. So let's proceed. When my life was decimated by it, I had a very good life, and I was out of integrity. Just doing stuff for the money. What I found was that I'd given up my soul for the corporate goal. I did. I lost all my values. Now I realize now I had to lose myself to find myself, but this was very painful. And so what happened with me was, when I lost everything, I decided I'd retreat from society. I needed to think about things. I just lost everything. So I retreated from society for a long, long time. I'd taken up meditation when I retreated, because I had to find out why I had to go through that, and I didn't understand that. And so I took up meditation because I didn't have any friends. I found out no money, no friends. None. And so while away on meditation, and I was in this deep meditation, we're talking months, I got a glimpse, just a piece of the puzzle, while in meditation, of how I could pay my moral debt back to society. And I owed a lot as far as I'm concerned. The one thing I didn't lose was my conscience when I got out of what I was in. And so as I meditated more, every time I meditated, I got another piece of the puzzle. I was getting glimpses, but I couldn't make any sense of it yet. And so what happened was that finally, I got a really good picture. And initially, these glimpses were haunting to me. And as I kept sitting, I got a picture of this that I could make some sense of. And it wasn't a haunting, it was a calling. And it was, I wonder if I could bring integrity back to the world and be a champion of integrity. World. Pretty lofty, I agree. But then I remembered Margaret Mead's quote, and I thought maybe there's some hope. Did I know how? Didn't have a clue. What an undertaking. To be able to think of doing something like that. And so, more meditation, more pieces of the puzzle, and then I decided I'd drill down on what integrity was. And as I drilled down on what integrity was, I could see that integrity is what tied all us humans to the planet, was integrity. How? Well, the most magnificent piece of integrity that we know is this whole planetary ecosystem. It's ecosystems within ecosystems within ecosystems, all harmonizing when she's optimized. We, as humans, have integrity cells and unhealthy cells, cells that are out of integrity. The integrity cells must win over the unhealthy cells, otherwise the organism does not survive. Does not survive. It's that big and that obvious. And so I could see that we had something in common, because in order for anything in life to be optimized, it must run in its own frequency, its own harmonic. And it's the same thing with us. In fact, when there's a pain in various parts of our body, it's these cells crying, and it tells us that there's something wrong. And if we don't pay attention, it could be at our own peril. This is something that could kill the organism. Same thing with Mother Earth. Same thing with Mother Earth. I mean, who speaks for Mother Earth? The mother of all living things that we love so much that we've forgotten as a race. And remember, integrity is about being whole and undivided, as we started with. Whole. Being one with this beautiful planet that we're on. And most of us are head down, bum up, making money and more money and increased net asset value. And it's become an obsession. And if you could imagine 8 billion people doing that, it becomes insanity. Because without integrity, you have insanity. You don't know where the bounds of reality are. And so Mother Nature is giving us signs, pains. How does she do that? Well, as I sat more and more in meditation, I could see she's going to excess. Excess wind, rain, snow, cold, heat. She's going to excess. I mean, is it just me that notices the excessive amount of inland flooding around the planet? It's not just here in North America. It's elsewhere too. And there's just something within me that thinks, with all this polar cap melting, the oceans haven't gone up that much. They've gone up, but not that much. It's almost as though all of that has been put into the atmosphere, and there's this faucet that lets go every once in a while. That's unbelievable in terms of precipitation, of excess. And so let's take a look at what NASA has to say about what's going on. There's sea levels rising. Global temperatures are rising. Warming oceans. Declining Arctic sea ice. Glacial retreat. Ocean acidification. Decreasing snow cover. Extreme events. Look at this supercell hurricane. They're clocking new winds now. Record amount of winds. I mean, this is pretty foreboding. I don't think you'd want to be any place near this. And then there's the world record for snowfall happened just a few months ago in Capricoda, Italy. It's on the same latitude as Rome, so not really high up in the mountains in Italy, about midway. 8.5 feet of snow in 24 hours. Really? Now this is what Mother Nature can do. This is a warning. I mean, how could you operate? Come on, you can't get out your front door, can't get out the garage. If you wanted to get out the garage, where are you going to go? Snow plows, how can they see the vehicles to plow? Shows you what Mother Nature can do. And then on the news this year, you'll have to excuse me, sometimes I get a little choked talking about this because I love this planet. There's 5 plastic islands on the ocean. One is the size of Texas. In and on and swirling around in the ocean. I mean, could you imagine sailing through something like this? I don't think we could. And there's 5 plastic, islands on the ocean. I mean, who threw all this stuff in the ocean? This is proof. Integrity is what you do when no one's looking. Then there's the Fukushima dynamic this year. dumping of 280 tons a day of nuclear wastewater in the ocean. That water with radiation is now hitting the North American West Coast. I mean, we know how long radiation lasts. They've measured it here on our coast. And so as a result, I mean, Mother Nature is the best engineer that we know, but how can she handle all this? Especially with 8 billion people not considering, for the majority of the part, Mother Nature. Well, the indigenous tribes do, because they know that there's a spiritual law. It says, as long as you're in tune with Mother Nature, you're safe. Nature never destroys that which is in tune with it. And they live that way. It wouldn't matter to them if the stock market went to 200. They wouldn't miss a beat. But we are so busy, head down, bum up. So I figured, all right, what can be done about all this? We need something to be done. Because we're all looking at nature through a straw. We don't see the big picture. And there's nobody correlating all the data. NASA's close to it. And so as a result, what could be done? That's what I said. Well, the first thing that needed to be done was we needed to recognize what integrity is. And so as a result, this got me really motivated. The Cree prophecy. Only after the last tree has been cut down, only after the last river has been poisoned, only after the last fish has been caught, only then you will find that money cannot be eaten. Sobering. And so what happened? After that, I decided I'd do something about it. I was going to have my hand in providing something. We just couldn't stand by and do nothing. And so as a result, I thought integrity. Let's get integrity lined up so we teach people what integrity is about. Number two, we'd have to have collaboration. Collaboration, a social imperative. Now this is a TEDx idea we're spreading. And it started here at TEDx. Can we do it? I think we can. Why? Because never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. So join with me. Let's teach our kids that the inside world is more important than the outside world of man-made stuff. Let's teach them how important life is. We have that responsibility, you and I.